than Sue. Ronnie the Rocket, Richard?
Yeah, Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course, multiple world champion, made his first century break at the age of 10.
Interesting. Now then, Ross. So we are looking for the real names of these sportsmen who have these nicknames.
Well, the only one that I know anything about is Gaza. So
Do you watch much sport, Ross?
I don't watch any sport, surprisingly.
It's going to have to be...
It's going to have to be Gaza, Paul Gascoigne.
Gaza Paul Gascoigne. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. $67. That's a high score there, Ross. Gaza Paul Gascoigne.
That's right. Do you sense that sport wasn't a great category for today's contestants? Probably Gaza's best, most famous goal was in Euro '96, where he just tipped the ball over Colin Hendry and smashed it into the back of the Scotland net. I don't know if you remember that at all.
Oh, I remember it, yes.
Yeah. What a goal. What a goal. Let's take a look at the rest of the board. The cat cricket, do you know that, Xander?
Phil Tufnell.
It is Phil Tufnell, yeah, would have scored you 14 points. Stone Cold. Stone Cold?
I don't know that.
But it would have scored you 19 points, so plenty of people do. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the American
More points
wrestler.
than Phil Tufnell?
Yeah. Phil Tufnell will be pleased. And the Juice. Do you know the Juice?
If it's the best I'm thinking, it was OJ.
O.J. Simpson, that's exactly right. He's a famous American footballer. Then he was in the Naked Gun movies, then just disappeared.
Then, yeah, came... OK, let's take a look at the scores. We're halfway through the round. Well, it's been a very, very high-scoring round. Graham and Valerie, who would have thought? You are looking the most comfortable at this stage. Valerie, we just rely on your sporting know-how in the next pass to ensure that you make it through to the head-to-head. Sue and Phil, Ross and Ben, not a great deal to separate you, but obviously, Ross and Ben, you do have the highest score. So, Ben, you know what you've got to do on the next pass. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we're going to put 6 more names on the board, nicknames, I should say, on the board, and they read like this. The Dark Destroyer, boxing. Golden Balls, football. Birdman, skateboarding. The Lightning Bolt, athletics. El Nino, football. The Power, darts. I'm going to read those again. The Dark Destroyer, boxing. Golden Balls, football. Birdman, skateboarding. The Lightning Bolt, athletics. El Nino, football. The Power, darts. Remember, we are looking for the sportsmen these nicknames refer to, and you are trying to find the one that the fewest of our 100 people knew. Now, Ben, you are on 67. You are out in front.
Yes, this is not my specialist subject either, so I'm going to play it absolutely safe and say Golden Balls, David Beckham.
OK. Is that the only one on the board you knew?
Yeah.
OK, no red line for you. You are the high scorers. You're saying Golden Balls, Beckham. Let's see how many people said that. $65 is what that scores you, taking your total up to 132. Richard, Golden Balls.
Yeah, pretty big score. Of course, David Beckham married to Posh Spice, very much the Billy Wright and the Beverly sister of their day, aren't they?
Absolutely. OK, now, Valerie, you are on 33. If you can score 98 or less with this answer, you are through to the head-to-head. Do you know any of those names?
Not a single one. I think the only thing I can, oh dear, is make a wild guess. Lightning Bolt, Steve Ovett. That's probably wrong.
There's your red line. You don't have to go very far to cross it. Have you crossed the red line? That's the question. Steve Ovett, the Lightning Bolt. Let's see. Is it right? How many people said it? Oh, Valerie, I'm afraid that is an incorrect answer. I'm afraid. That scores you the maximum of 100 points. That's great news for Ben and Ross. Sees them through to the head-to-head. Bad news for Valerie and Graham for now. Richard.
Yeah, Steve Ovett would love to be called the Lightning Bolt, I suspect. I won't say who it is, just in case Phil wants to have a go at that one.
OK, now, Phil, you are on 53. You have to score 79 or less with this answer. 79 or less, and you are through to the head-to-head.
OK, well, I could guess at some of the others, but there's only one other answer on there that I know, so I'm going to have to go for that and play safe, and that's the darts one, Phil the Power Taylor.
Phil the Power Taylor. OK, here's your red line. If Phil the Power gets you below that red line, you are through to the head-to-head. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, how many people said it. It's right. You are through to the next round. 28, Phil. That's not a bad score at all. Gives you a total of 81.
Yeah, very good, Phil. You're our very own Phil the Power. Fill in your surname, which I'm not aware of. Let's take a look at the rest of these. Alexander, do you know any of these? Do you know the Dark Destroyer?
I don't know that.
That's Nigel Benn, who was the middleweight boxer who's famously competitive with Chris Eubank. So let's clear up the lightning bolt. Do you know the lightning bolt?
Well, I'm guessing that's Usain Bolt.
Correct. The world's fastest man, Usain Bolt, would have scored you 35 points. Nigel Benn there would have scored you 16 points. El Nino, football.
No.
El Nino in football is Fernando Torres, the Liverpool striker. Would have scored you 5, and Birdman in skateboarding.
I do know that. Weirdly, I do know that one.
OK.
Tony Hawk.
It is Tony Hawk, absolutely right. Very well done if you got that at home. Would have scored you 3 points. So very, very good answer.
OK, thanks, Richard. So at the end of round 2, the losing pair with the highest score it was a knife-edge result there. It's Graham and Valerie. So who's watching at home, Graham and Valerie?
Probably nobody now. I don't suppose we're going to tell them.
Have you got children?
Yes.
Well,
Grown
children,
up.
yeah.
Yes.
Offspring?
3 boys.
Yes.
3 boys.
Yes.
Now, how is it with 3 boys? We've got 3 boys.
Me and you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Let's put it this way. My middle son said that if we didn't take something back, he'd be changing the locks.
Well, I'll tell you what, you will be taking something back. You'll be taking back our deep respect for having been fantastic contestants and our apologies for not having served you some better topics to answer on. But thanks so much for playing, Valerie and Graham. You've been great. But for the remaining 2 pairs, things are about to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. So we've already said goodbye to 2 teams. It's now time to find out which of our remaining pairs will be playing for today's jackpot, which currently stands at an enormous £11,250. Right, so Phil and Sue, Ross and Ben, you are now going head-to-head on the best of 3 questions. You may now confer. That's the important bit. All you have to do is come up with an answer that scores less than the opposing pair to win that question. The first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for today's jackpot. OK, let's play Pointless. Here's your first question.